Okay. Wait, I know. Wait, people. Yes, we have the music, like the intro music now. So go on. Hello,
Ah,
everyone.
ah. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Europe on holiday. Starring Dante and Snore. Um,
With
this
me,
week's topics.
wait, it's really
Yeah,
important for people to know that I'm
yeah,
at home doing like a professional,
yeah,
and then there's Nor, like it's
yeah.
like in a cupboard or something on his phone. So just to let people
Yeah,
know.
I'm on my phone. So yeah, I'm on holiday right now in Switzerland, in near the great city of Basel, which is in the northern part of Switzerland, and Dante is in the northern part of Italy.
No, I'm not.
So yeah, well, northern-ish. So we're broadcasting from two sides, of the Alps
Yeah,
today.
yeah, as always.
And it's hot. It's hot. It's freaking hot here. You know.
It's even
Um,
hotter here. So,
yeah, I know. I know.
oh
The
yeah.
Mediterranean climate.
Speaking about that, before we go into our actual topics, a few days ago, I don't remember when. I think it was this week. We had
Yeah.
the new record within the EU, the highest recorded temperature. It was in Sicily. It was
Yeah.
48.8, which, yeah,
Ah.
great. The highest recorded temperature within Europe ever. But the
Yeah.
good thing
My
is,
God.
the good news is, next year we're going to have a new one, so don't worry. This one is going to be
Shit.
cold compared to what we're going to get.
Yeah. Exactly. This is going to be like the coolest year you'll ever remember, right?
Yeah. So
Oh gosh, man. That plus the fires. The fires don't help either, right?
I don't
The
know.
Greek fires are almost out, I think. Right?
Yeah,
I
I think
haven't heard anything really much from the Greeks, or it's either Athens is burnt down, and that's why we don't hear anything
I mean
anymore about it.
to be fair, wouldn't that be just tradition? You know how many times has it been
Yeah,
burnt down in the past? So it would
yeah,
just
yeah,
be going
yeah,
back to antiquity, It's just ancient times again.
yeah. Exactly. It's a we're trying to repeat the whole of the whole of history in a few hundred years, or a thousand years of history in like 10 years. First Athens has to burn down. Next, of course, Rome.
Well,
Yeah. Well, I mean, Sicily was already super hot this week, and it's only going to go north. And I can tell you that I'm sitting in a house at the moment, and on the top floor, and it's absolutely boiling here. Me and the kids wanted to do something this afternoon. There's a
sure.
nice fair in the town where I'm staying, and I took one look at it, and we looked at each other, and we just said no. We're staying inside today because it's so freaking hot. Yeah.
Speaking
But
about
as the
hot
holidays go,
stuff, what about our
mm,
topics? Those are hot,
yeah.
right?
Yeah, let's talk. Today's topics are COVID. It's always COVID,
Yeah,
right?
as it should be.
We're also going to talk about China. And what else? I don't have
Corruption
the list
within
in
the
front of
EU.
me at the moment. Oh
We
yeah,
have.
corruption within the EU. Oh yes,
Then we
lovely.
have
Yeah,
Poland having some issues. Gonna talk about that. And
yeah,
then lastly, maybe we're going to touch a bit yeah, on German elections as well, because those are coming up
yeah,
in the near future.
yeah. But nobody cares about Germany,
Yeah, I mean, it's
Nobody
not.
cares.
Well, to be fair,
Yeah,
it's not like they use
it's
their influence much. They should, but they don't. So
no.
at least, I mean, they use it when in bad ways. Let's put that.
Yeah.
They could
Well,
do
I mean,
a
they
lot
they don't.
better.
Yeah, they could do a lot more. It'll be interesting to see what happens there because the elections there are next month, of course.
Yeah,
So,
which is
yeah.
uh,
But
which is
uh,
on a European scale. It's really far away.
mm,
Just to explain it to if we have people from the US
yeah,
or other countries which don't know how it works here. Here it's like one
yeah,
week, two before the elections, it starts to ramp up. A month is already too much. Like, yeah, there's some
yeah,
stuff
yeah.
going on, but no one cares.
there's some movement in the polls already, but I mean, one, it's Germany, so it's very conservative, and two, it's
Yeah, but
there's a lot that can happen in a month.
yeah, but for example, as far as I know, they don't have like show like on TV. I remember last time they had at least for the foreign ministers, they had like a panel where each
Mm,
party had its
yeah.
like foreign minister uh, representative, whatever, and like they had to
Mm,
ask questions with on several issues. So it's
yeah.
still early to do that. It's not like the US where they start doing
Yeah.
that 6 months before the elections or whatever. So
Yeah,
mm,
but let's assure our audience that the United States is far stranger than the European Union. So,
yeah,
yeah.
I mean, to be fair, as far as I know, uh,
Mm,
I mean, obviously, both me and you, we are not exactly the maximum experts when it comes to knowing how elections happen and everything else happens
mm,
in everyone everywhere around the world. But within democracies, I think it's usually
mm.
with like the European time scale. Let's call it like 2 weeks, three at most.
Yeah,
Like it's usually that.
that's when everything starts heating up.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I
That's
think the US is
we still
probably the
have a
only
month.
one.
So,
I think the US is
yeah.
the only place that has it.
Well, and the UK as well. The UK. I mean, it's mostly the two-party system versus the
Yeah, but
multi-party system that
even
we
within the
have.
UK,
Because
it's
then
not
it's
that bad. I
yeah.
think it doesn't.
No.
I mean, it's not like they don't start 3 4 months in advance. Like I do remember when they had last
True.
elections, they started with the Democrats. They had their own round tables and to find the nominee,
Yeah.
whatever. Then the other side, and
Yeah,
they had
yeah,
the
yeah,
elections to,
exactly.
to decide who runs for the Democrats and all that stuff. There's, I don't think they don't have that in the UK, as far as I know. And it's not like,
Yeah, I mean it's a little bit more
yeah, I mean, they don't have a president.
more civilized in the UK.
Yeah, I mean,
You
they
know,
don't need to
they
to decide on a president, so it's simply the UK. And
no.
if
I
they
mean,
need to
it's
have,
in the UK. It's really easy. I mean,
yeah,
in the UK, it's really easy. It's just going to be Boris Johnson every time.
yeah, I
You
mean,
know,
how the way it should be,
Bojo
obviously.
will rule the world according to the UK. So it's easy. You vote for Boris Johnson or you don't vote. And well,
So let's start with the
So let's get back. Yeah,
yeah.
let's start with let's
Now before
yeah.
we go there, let's start with the title. So I mean, the
Yeah.
title here is Europe on holiday because obviously holidays and stuff. Not sure if it's
Hmm.
a European-wide thing, but I mean, obviously tomorrow is Sunday, so it defeats the point.
Yeah.
But usually, at least in Italy, the 15th it's an holiday. So if it was at a Sunday,
Yeah.
would have been still a red day. So holidays here,
Yeah.
which is great for me because I could have had a day more of holidays. Instead, it's on a Sunday. Thank you,
It,
calendar.
yeah. So it doesn't matter basically is
Yeah,
what you're saying.
it's really great. But I
Yeah.
mean,
But why is it Red Day then? I mean, is it a special holiday in Italy?
yeah, I mean, the 15th is one of those days where it's always holiday, like the 1st of May and all
Oh,
those
okay.
other days.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
one of those
Yeah.
national holidays because we
Mm.
like our holidays and stuff. It's
Yeah, yeah,
like,
yeah. It's just a holiday for holiday's sake, basically, is what you're saying.
yeah, I mean, it's literally like it's called Ferragosto, which is literally it's the day within the middle of August, which it's usually when
Mm.
people go on holiday. That's like the
Oh, okay.
the
Yeah.
hottest point, like the hottest day, as in the most people going
Mm.
somewhere and stuff. Which, to some
Yeah.
degree, is not the best day for a holiday because everywhere is like full of people. You can't find anything like an
Yeah.
accommodation, whatever. But it's fun.
Yeah. Yeah. It works.
Yeah,
And for me as well, I mean,
I mean you're
it's
doing it
now
as well,
exactly the middle of
so
August. Yeah. Yeah.
and
I'm nicely ensconced in Switzerland right now, so that's nice.
uh,
Uh, uh,
on the lake,
no, no, I am deep in the inlands, in the hills of near Basel.
wasn't
So
there a lake called Constance there nearby?
Yeah, not really. I mean, I'm at the start of the Rhine basically here.
Yeah,
So there is a water that is streaming downhill,
yeah,
but that's about all you can say about it. What I've been doing here is I've been exploring lots of castles, and I'm a little bit of someone who likes architecture and history. So I've been looking into the little castles that are around here, and so some beautiful places, in Switzerland,
yeah,
especially in the summer because all the tourists are elsewhere,
yeah.
you
But
know.
it has Swiss people
Which
in it, So
Yeah, yeah, I know. That's the only disadvantage,
and they speak
you have to
funny.
deal with the Swiss. Yeah, and
So
how? Um, I thought, as someone who's like had German at school and who's lived in Germany, I thought I kind of spoke German, but
yeah,
no, you know.
I mean
When you
maybe
come here, it's all, you know,
maybe the issue is
it's
that they don't speak German. Did you
yeah,
ever think that?
yeah, exactly.
They speak
But it's
whatever.
really nice, I must say, the hospitality that I've received here is first class, and everyone's been friendly so far. And I'm here with my two boys, and tomorrow, for example, we're going to go to another castle. We're going to climb a massive hill. Now, I don't know how the temperatures are going to be. I suspect we're going to be temperatures in around the 30s, 35.
Yeah.
So, we're going to go with plenty of water, plenty of hats and shade, and I mean, I'm really kind of considering getting a burqa at this point, because apparently that works.
And you even
Except,
get
that's illegal here.
you even get to
So,
protect people from having to watch you, to look at you. So it's a win-win.
yeah, I know, right? Who? See, the reason I have to explain to our audience the reason that we're doing the podcast right now is because I have what they call a face for radio, which means you don't want to see me on television, right?
And a voice for
So,
television, though.
it's a good, yeah, voice for voice for television.
I
Oh
mean, me
God.
too. So
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Oh, yeah, but you still look good. You know what I mean?
Yeah, nah.
I just look like this old kind of, ex-Auschwitz,
I don't know. To me,
refugee.
you look kinda like an EU Council president, which is an homeless person.
Oh, oh
So
no! Don't you dare! Don't you dare! I'm not that useless. At least I do a podcast. You
yeah,
know.
yeah, exactly. So
uh,
shall we go with
yeah,
a more serious topic like COVID?
yeah. Let's go for a more serious topic now. I mean, let's talk a little bit about COVID. I mean, I'd like to kind of highlight my travel experiences coming to Switzerland and around Europe, and what I've heard also from my British family who've kind of been here. And I'd also like to talk about how the EU is actually doing versus how it's going in America, for example. And of course, I want to talk about the way that the EU is, for example, dealing with vaccinating the rest of the world. So those are three kind of subtopics which I'd like to kind of highlight here. Um, but I'll start. I must say I'm very happy with the European Union's QR code and their the COVID
The Green
what
Pass.
you call it, the yeah, the green pass that you can use to get in everywhere. I flew from Schiphol to Basel, and I've only had to show my QR code once. Of course, you have to have your mask on the airplane. Kids have to be masked up as well. I mean, my kids are under 12, so technically they don't have to, but I did it anyway. And it was a pleasant experience, to be honest. No problems and stuff. Whereas my British family, oh my God, they really had to go through some hoops to get here.
Wait, why?
Um,
Well,
I,
because well, wait.
well,
They have AstraZeneca, which is like that we accept
yeah,
that, so there shouldn't be any issue, in theory.
Yeah, there shouldn't be any issue, but there is, That's the funny thing. They had to get on the airplane, they not only had to prove that they had the two jabs, which they do, but also they had to have a PCR test 2 days in advance to be able to travel here. And that cost them, I think, in total, 120 pounds per person, just to be able to, get into Switzerland. Now,
Can I say that
this
it's
is
it's a bit funny? Can I say that?
Yeah, I mean, this is basically there's only one reason for it, and it's Brexit. Because there is no equivalence between the Swiss slash European authority and what's going on here, what's going on there, in the UK. There's no one's sure if the pass that you have from the UK is actually valid. So the Swiss authorities demand that British travelers get a PCR test 2 days in advance to be able to travel. And when they go back, they also have to have a PCR test, or else they have to go into quarantine for, I believe it's 10 days. And that's, I mean, that's compared to what I have to do, I just have to show my QR code at the airport, and I can just, step on the airplane and step off, and I'm in the Netherlands, and everything's fine. Um, it's another one of those wonderful Brexit benefits which
Well, to be fair though,
has been given to them.
to be fair,
Yeah.
isn't it more like a Swiss issue than anything? Because as far as I know, I think if they come in the EU, it should be a lot easier. But in
Mhm.
Switzerland, it's the Swiss.
Yeah,
It's probably a
I
bit harder.
think the Swiss are doubly, they are doubly cautious. I mean, they're Swiss.
Yeah.
You can't expect anything else from them to be than to be extra cautious when it comes to those kind of things. But
I mean, to be
that's
fair,
it's definitely. Mhm.
like when it comes to the Brits, because of the Delta variant and
Mm.
everything else, and because um,
Yeah.
AstraZeneca is seen as a lesser vaccine, which to some degree it is, but not really that
Mm.
much. It's not like if you add your two
Yeah.
shots, you are fine mostly. But mostly
Yeah.
because of the Delta variant and everything, we see like European
Mm.
countries see England as a less desirable place to have people come from.
Yeah.
So maybe Switzerland puts more restrictions in
Yeah.
place to deter people from coming there. I would imagine.
Exactly. You heard it here first, people. Britain is the new Turkey.
Yeah, pretty
Yeah.
much. We need to find
Yeah.
ways to not have them come here, and
Do
that's
not have them in the EU and the rest of the. No, but I mean, the amount of money it costs to get a PCR test,
yeah,
and
it's a bit
you know,
much.
avoid those kind of things. I heard, for example, if you travel to the UK and you do not have your you do not have a test, you have to go into quarantine, or if you haven't had your two vaccinations, you have to go into quarantine, and it costs you about uh, you have to go into a quarantine hotel, and the quarantine hotel costs you about £3,000 for a week.
Yeah, that doesn't make
Which is
sense.
Dubai prices. Dubai prices for a really shitty hotel room somewhere in London,
Yeah,
where you won't be let out.
yeah, I don't get it
And
though. That's it's not like you are
mm,
like in an hospital or whatever. Like I could understand if it's like a
yeah,
quarantine within an hospital where there's people like looking into you, like medics or
yeah.
whatever. But you are just in an hospital.
Well,
Well,
for 3,000 for 3,000 euros a week to pay for a quarantine hotel, I'd expect a bit of service. Then
yeah,
yeah,
probably not
please. I
getting
mean,
it that.
then again, British hospitals,
Yeah, that's a fair
don't know
point.
it. Don't know if Yeah, don't know if you want to be stuck there, to be honest. So
Probably not. But you can have fun there.
yeah. But
So
I mean, and these are, I must caution people. These are anecdotal stories. I've heard them from my family, who've come here to Switzerland to visit as well. Um, but it does show that people are starting to really take the issue of equivalence between our countries when it comes to COVID vaccines quite seriously. I can't imagine, for example, someone coming from the Far East or the Near East, from Pakistan or something like that, into Europe, being able to, freely move about anymore. And like you said last week, I mean, if you want to go anywhere into a shop or into a restaurant, or have any kind of outside life outside of your little bubble, then you have to have had your vaccinations, really, and I see that as a really big difference, for example, with what's happening in the United States. In states like Texas, in states like Tennessee and Arkansas and Alabama, the southern states, Mississippi, Florida, uh, the Delta variant is now so rife and is affecting so many people, and because um, there's no vaccination requirement, really, to be part of daily life, and is actually being people are working against that. Oh, we don't want anyone wearing masks at school, for example. It's what's happening now in the U.S. In Florida. Um,
Yeah, but they're
you know
special
that.
people.
Yeah, but it shows how different we basically are thinking of individual
Well,
freedoms in America are
well,
much more kind of the
well, depends.
big thing.
If you
Yeah.
put the US in comparison with Italy or France, yes. If you're
Mm,
making the comparison
yeah.
with the Netherlands, you people are literally the same right now. So, well,
No, not really.
I
I
mean,
mean,
it's not the same.
yeah,
Yes, I know. I'm
yeah,
exaggerating a bit, but for example, Green Pass
yeah,
isn't mandatory there in the Netherlands.
yeah.
You don't need it
Well,
for
it
anything.
is if you want to go, for example, to a concert, or you want to go to an event. You will have to show that you are either doubly vaccinated, or you have a PCR test, which is 2 days or less, and then
Are
you
Are
can
you
get in.
sure that it's
Uh,
is it mandatory or is it just the event doing that?
no,
Because
no, it is mandatory. So that is
okay,
government mandated.
okay, so
So
you have
that
at
at
least
least
that
at
now.
least is nice.
So at least that you
Um,
have, which is, I mean,
yeah,
I would. The thing is, if you, I mean, this is the issue when it comes to
mm,
making the vaccination mandatory. Well, I mean, mandatory like the Green Pass. I mean, uh, to
yeah,
the idea is to have making it a bit harder for people that don't want to get vaccinated. So you
mm,
both put in have some places are more like secure because everyone in there is vaccinated. So you have that, and it's a way to put
yeah,
pressure on people that are not sure if they want to get vaccinated or not. Let's say that.
mm,
So if the only way, like the only places where it's mandatory is, for example, for travel or to go to a concert,
mm,
there is a big amount of like, I don't know if it's like a majority, probably it is. The anti-vaxxers usually, I mean, there are obviously anti-vaxxers that are educated and stuff, like as in
yeah,
higher education, like university and stuff. There are way too many, to be honest,
mm,
on there. But usually it's more people that are less wealthy and stuff. So those are
yeah,
people that don't like. Let's say, for example, you are in the US, which is a bit easier there, but there are people
mm,
that are. I'm not saying on the poverty line, but they don't have
yeah,
that much money to spend. They have never left their
mm,
own state, let alone the US. They don't care
yeah,
if to get outside
yeah,
of the US you
exactly.
need a green pass or whatever, you know. So
Mm,
if you need to convince them, the only way is you could go for restaurants because even if maybe some of them might not go there as often, but especially working people,
yeah,
you might have to go to a restaurant like at lunch or in a lunch break. Although
yeah,
in the US, it's a bit less of a thing because they have shorter breaks, so maybe not as much. I mean, in Italy,
mm,
obviously, we have
yeah,
longer breaks, so
yeah.
everyone
They're
goes
worked to
somewhere.
death anyway, is what you're saying. So
Yeah, so lunch breaks might not be, and restaurants might not be as much of a
yeah,
big thing there. So, which is
yeah,
even harder. So I guess there the only way would be not even public transportation the only way to hit the
Yeah.
US would be if you need the green pass to work. Otherwise, anything else doesn't really
Yeah.
work there, I guess.
Yeah, and they are requiring it, for example, for federal jobs and for the U.S. military is now requiring vaccinations, 2 vaccinations. The hospitals are, if you want to work in the healthcare, you have to have 2 vaccinations. So it's not like they haven't thought about this,
Yeah, but the
but
thing
it's
is,
not as
those are
yeah,
like few people, relatively speaking.
mm,
I mean, obviously, you're going to vaccinate the
yeah,
military and stuff. Like, I mean, Russia did it as well. They got the military, like
yeah,
the army, whatever. They all vaccinate with the shittier
mm,
version of Sputnik because you're not. Obviously, it's not.
yeah.
Putin is not going to use the better version, so he used the shitty one. But still, he still did that. So obviously, it's easier to make like if you want to be in the army, you need to get vaccinated or you get kicked out. Like, that's a bit easier
Yeah,
to do because at the end of the day, there the
yeah,
federal
exactly.
government is the employer, so you can just say I don't want you.
Mm.
It's not, but
Yeah, this is yeah, exactly. This is the requirement, and this is you do this or else you're out. That's the easy thing. It's the easy one.
but if you
When you're talking about wider society, it's completely different.
yeah,
It's
you need to get private
um,
business involved,
yeah,
and the thing is, we are not yet there. I think to make. The thing is,
no.
when it comes to the vaccination campaign, which by the way I'm going to show on Twitch. So the issue
Mm,
is even we are getting to the point where most of the people that wanted to get vaccinated are getting vaccinated, but we are not there
yeah.
yet. So you can't say that everyone who
Mm,
hasn't been vaccinated yet is a Novax. There are people that want to be vaccinated but
yeah.
just haven't had the chance yet. So you can't
True.
make
True.
everything be mandatory with the green pass, especially if it were like work, because what are they supposed to do? Not work. It's not like they can get the vaccination. So
Yeah.
I do think that maybe a difference. You could say that you can still work if you have your like you get your appointment, so you get like a
Yeah.
green pass, maybe a yellow pass, which
Mm,
says you
yeah.
are
Yeah.
getting your you're waiting for your appointments and stuff. And
Yeah.
if
I mean,
I mean, there could be ways, but the thing is, it's a bit too convoluted. You can't do that really. So
yeah.
the
I
only
mean, the thing
thing
is
you
that
wait.
because most people are already, yeah, but because most people are already vaccinated now, I mean, it's getting to the point that they're starting to shut down vaccination centers, because most people have already been vaccinated, so there's already fewer places to get vaccinated now,
But
and
it
making an
depends, though.
appointment to get
I mean,
vaccinated
I would.
is a lot easier now than it was, 5 months ago, let's say,
Yeah, I mean,
when
that's
it
for
started.
sure.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is,
Yeah.
I would imagine to get everyone who wants to get vaccinated to get this shot,
Mm,
maybe by the end of the month, let's say September.
mm,
But even that, I don't think we need all
yeah.
of September. Like, let's say all of August and September. Then October,
Yeah.
everyone who wanted had it. But it's going to take a bit.
Yeah,
And
I mean, I think it's really important that we all get this done by October, because when the weather turns cold, people's resistances drop anyway, and
yeah, I mean,
you get a lot more of the
j-
cold weather. And
just
we saw that
remember,
last year as
yeah.
well. In the in
And the
the
thing is,
in the fall and in the winter, it's gonna go shitty.
and
You
the thing is,
know?
last year, as you remember, in summer we had like
Mm,
it looked like COVID was like it was gone almost. Like we had numbers
mm,
like 10 new people getting COVID or whatever. It was literally almost over, and then October arrived and we
yeah.
were oh fuck. So
Yeah. Oh, here we go again.
I mean the difference is this time we have people are vaccinated, so it should be a bit better, but. I do
Mm,
expect October to get a bit more. Like I do expect, for example, some places to start
yeah.
putting lockdowns in place. At least maybe it's not going to be
Mm,
red zones. It's going to be yellow or whatever, but it's going to be
yeah.
orange, whatever it's going to be. It's going. I don't think we're going to go all the way to complete lockdown mostly, but I do think that it's
Well,
there
I
are going
don't
to be
know. I mean,
some.
it kind of depends. I mean, the thing is,
I mean,
Yeah,
yeah,
the
it
thing is,
depends.
right,
The thing,
is
each country has
it
different
depends on
solution.
which other variants are out there, really. You know, I mean,
Yeah,
we now
that
have
as
to cope with
well.
the Delta variant, which is incredibly infectious. But you know, it's the longer we wait with getting large parts of the world vaccinated, the more chance we have of new
New
variants
variants.
popping up, you
Yeah,
know, and
obviously.
mutating. Um, so, you know, and this is something that this is one of the reasons why the EU is pumping so much money and so many vaccines into the rest of the world. You know, we're exporting them to South Africa, we're exporting, you know, to South America, to any place that really needs them at the moment. You know, as many as possible, as fast as possible.
Speaking
Um,
about that,
just to, Mhm.
I'm looking now at the share of people vaccinated against COVID. Uh, Obviously,
Mhm.
there's not it's not every country here, but I think I can probably put everyone if I really want to. Anyways, we have a few here. It's
Mhm.
interesting that, for example, in Russia, there's 21% of people have been fully vaccinated, and
Yeah.
28% if you count those that have just one shot. Which is interesting because
Mm.
I would have imagined it
Yeah.
was higher since Russia had its Sputnik vaccine, which was the first one which is
Mm.
got started using. Like before, right now, the EMA still doesn't recognize it as a
Yeah.
accepted
Yeah. Yeah.
vaccine, but still they were the first. So I would have imagined being the
Yeah.
first. At least Russia would have been a lot more vaccinated. Instead, it's really low. I mean, their numbers are
Mm. I
almost.
mean, yeah,
Let's
yeah, are
see.
terrible, really. You know, when you look at it.
Yeah, I'm
I think
looking.
that's also because of the trust in the government. You know, I mean, let's be honest, right? Are you
Yeah,
going to trust the Russian government to vaccinate you properly?
yeah,
Now, I don't know if many people are on board with that. You know, the same thing
that's a
in.
fair
I mean, in
point.
China, it's a lot easier. You know, you get vaccinated or you get gulagged. You know, or you know, so in China, I think the uptake is a little bit higher. Whereas in Russia, you know, the idea of personal freedom is still very much, you know, especially after communism. You know, the idea of individual freedom to do whatever you want is still, you know, very high. So
So
you know, but if you look at countries like Brazil, or you know, or you know, sub-Saharan Africa, where you know, I mean, in South Africa, the variants are, you know, they're running rife, or India for that, for example, you know, it's very hard to, you know, vaccinate a subcontinent that is so diverse that, you know, you've got the poorest and the richest people on Earth basically living there.
yeah, India is
Um,
a bit of an issue, which
yeah.
is why I saw it earlier. Yeah,
Mm.
it has 8% of the people fully vaccinated, uh,
Yeah. Wow. You
21%
know.
with at least one shot, which is interesting. Usually, it's
Yeah.
the
So I
numbers
mean,
are.
that's where we're
Yeah, go on.
yeah. That's where we're expecting. I mean, that's where I'm expecting the new variants to pop up. You know, and
I
once
don't
they
know.
pop up,
The
you
thing
know, I
is,
think be looking at more lockdowns, maybe.
The thing is,
Kind of.
let me look into also Nigeria population. So people,
Yeah.
this is how Eurocast works. I Google stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, Nigeria has
We
200
Google
million
stuff and we
people.
pretend to be experts.
Yeah, obviously. So I did know that. I know that Nigeria is quite popular. So it has 200 million people in there. In Nigeria, the percent
Yeah.
of people vaccinated, fully vaccinated, 0.69, at least one shot,
Yeah.
0.55. So the 12% is
Yeah.
1.24.
So
Uh,
nobody basically, you know,
yeah,
nobody in Nigeria is vaccinated.
and I know
That's
that
how you should see it. You know?
yes, India is going to be an issue, but at least India has a 30% of people with at least one shot, which is actually a lot if you consider
Mm.
all the
Yeah.
issues they have. But Nigeria,
Yeah. Yeah.
which is,
True.
and then
Nigeria. Yeah. Oof.
and if you want, so I have the number for all of Africa. Africa has a
Mm.
total of 4%, and that's a lot.
Yeah.
Like
Uh,
there are a lot of people in Africa, and
mm.
if you want to talk about getting new variants, I would imagine uh,
Mm.
place where it's like hotter and stuff, it's even better for a vaccine for a virus to mutate. Probably, I would imagine. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
in India, obviously, it's similar, but
Yeah.
still, like,
I mean, everyone remembers from the last year, the pictures from India with the massive, pyres and running out of firewood to cremate people
wait,
and stuff like that,
wasn't there a
And
South African variant at one point,
yeah,
right?
yeah. There's also a South African variant. I mean, there's a number of variants already floating around the world, and it's
Yeah,
only a matter of time before, one of those mutates enough to be called a new virus, basically,
yeah, and where
And
our vaccines are not capable of.
exactly,
Which imagine
I
if
don't
we
know
need to
about
start
Italy, but yeah,
everything from scratch again, a new vaccine,
yeah, exactly.
and then everyone has to be vaccinated with a new
COVID two,
one,
Africa Boogaloo.
and then
Yeah,
how hard it's going to be to get people to get vaccinated again on the new virus, because
yeah,
getting everyone on board on this one, it has been relatively
yeah,
hard. Getting everyone on board again, like, let's say next
yeah,
year. So you need to have your COVID one shot, and then you need to get your
yeah,
the COVID two shot. It's going to
yeah,
be
yeah. Oh, and your booster. You need your booster as well. Your booster shot. So you need your COVID one shot, two COVID one shots, a booster, a COVID two shot, a booster for that.
yeah,
I mean,
it's
this is going to go on. This is nowhere near over. I think, and I think this is something that I'm kind of worried about because I'm from the Netherlands, and the Dutch government is very kind of lenient in its way of dealing with people that with the lockdown things. So, for
yeah.
example, this week they've said, well, we don't need masks anymore at school, and we can let the 1.5 meter rule
I mean,
slide when we're talking about schools and
I
stuff
did
like that.
say the
And I'm
Netherlands
thinking to
is like the
myself,
US,
wait a second,
It's like
sorry?
the US. I told you earlier. You,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The Netherlands is basically little Texas. It's the European little Texas, and
by the
we
way,
got most of the anti-vaxxers.
I have the number
I
here.
must say I love my country very much,
Yeah,
but there are
we all
definitely
do.
things that we could improve.
We all love the Netherlands to get high. I mean, I don't, but there are
Yeah,
people that do.
yeah.
So
No, you don't. You don't. No,
I
I
don't,
know you don't.
I don't really care much. So I have the numbers here.
Dante's my taxes go to Dante anyway, so I'm
Yeah,
not too worried,
I mean
right?
mine goes
But
to you, so I pay for your
yeah,
pensions. So you know,
yeah,
we,
But
it's
that means I can go on holiday to you.
this
That's
is
very
like
nice.
this is what the EU is about: money circulating. It goes there, then it comes back. This is how it should be, right? Anyways,
Yeah,
the EU is doing quite well right now. So remember how the US it started a lot better. I do think there was an article that you posted to me earlier. It was the EU lost the sprint, but is winning the marathon.
yeah,
Which,
exactly. Yeah,
if you look at the US, they have 50% of fully vaccinated and an additional 8% of people who got their only first shot. In the EU,
yeah,
we have 53% of fully vaccinated and an 8% with a first shot. That's
yeah,
a total of like 3% of when it comes to the total of difference. So it's not like it's a big difference or whatever. It's we are quite
mm.
we are at just a bit more.
Yeah. We're neck and neck,
But the
basically,
thing
is what
is,
you're saying.
we did start later, and I mean,
Yeah,
we did had at least at the start. We were not fully coordinated at all. So it's interesting that we have quite good numbers. I mean, I'm looking like, for example, Spain
yeah,
here is doing really well.
yeah,
It has almost like
yeah,
73.69% of the people we have at least one shot.
yeah.
And then you have Denmark, which is there 75 as well. It's
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah, 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 definitely. I mean, I think as far as the Western world goes, the US and the EU are the forerunners, with Britain as a third, Britain and Japan probably as thirds. You know, I mean, we because of our manufacturing capability as well. You know, we've really ramped up the manufacturing of the vaccines, which means that, you know, it's available. You know, it's available on short term. And you know, when Biden was elected, one of the ideas that he was for was releasing the patents on the vaccines for the rest of the world to use. Yeah,
Yeah,
but
I remember that.
that's not really yeah, exactly, that's not really a solution, is it? Because, you know, it's not about the patents, it's about the manufacturing capability at the moment. You know,
Yeah.
how fast can you manufacture enough to jab your whole population?
When the thing
Um,
is, the patents, you could use them to make your own vaccine to start the trial. But the thing is, you would need to start the
mm,
trials on your own vaccine. That takes a while. Then you need to
yeah,
still,
exactly.
manufacture it. So it's a bit. I mean,
Yeah.
if it was at the start, sure, but now it's a bit late now,
Mm,
to be honest. And
yeah.
I don't know.
Well, it was a bit
It's
late at the start as well, I think.
yeah.
To be honest, I mean, if you look at, for example, you know, what would happen if Nigeria, South Africa, Brazil, and Argentina would start their own, you know, their own version of a vaccine? Is that, you know, how do you prove equivalence, you know, between all the vaccines?
Well, I mean,
You
it's
know,
not too hard. You just send them to
yeah,
EMA. EMA does
you know, I
its
mean,
own
the EMA
evaluation.
already has trouble getting its mitts on data from Sputnik, for example. You know, from the Russian vaccine,
Yeah, but no, it's not.
and
Wait.
that's
The thing is, it's not like EMA is having trouble. It's more like Russia doesn't want to send
mm,
the data, so it's not getting its
yeah,
vaccine
I know,
validated. So it's up to
yeah,
Russia, though. I mean, if
yeah,
let's say
but I mean,
Brazil were
if, for example,
to make
Nigeria created a vaccine for its own population, which was less effective than Pfizer or AstraZeneca or any of
yes,
the other major things, would they actually want to admit that, or would they also hold back the data? You know,
I mean,
so
it's up to
you
them.
couldn't make the equivalence. Yeah, it kind of is up to them, but, you know, you never know. You know, and
Yeah,
that's the
but
thing.
it
And I
doesn't
think
really
that's.
matter. The thing is,
Mm,
if they make a vaccine, the thing is, if you want EMA to approve it, it's mostly if you want to sell it
yeah,
to the EU. Otherwise, why do you even care?
mm,
You don't. If Nigeria
yeah,
makes its
yeah,
own
true.
vaccine just for Nigeria, why would it even send
Mm,
the vaccination, like the vaccine to EMA? It's not like they need EMA to
yeah.
validate, so Nigeria can start selling its vaccine to Italy or whatever.
Mm.
It doesn't make any sense. It's not.
Yeah, okay, but it's not only about that, but it's also, are you allowed to travel to the EU? You know,
Yes, how many Nigerian
if
people
as a
are coming
Nigerian
to the
you
EU?
want to do business in Portugal, or you want to do business in Italy, you know,
Yes, but
you'll have to be able to show that you've got a vaccine which has been checked by the EMA. You
not
know,
necessarily though. I
so
mean, they can just get tested. Just if it's
yeah, they
not,
can get the PCR test, but that
yeah,
costs money. You know.
yeah. But if
Yeah,
it's people coming for business, a business can write that off as a business expense. It's not like
yeah,
on the grand scheme of things, if you are a Nigerian business and you need to send one of your employees to the Netherlands,
mm,
the cost of the airplane
yeah,
and the accommodation and everything, if you add 100 euro for a
mm.
test, it doesn't really change anything. So, and if
No,
you're
no,
talking
no,
about
that's true. That's
tourists,
true. That's true.
we are not getting that many
Mm.
tourists from Africa because there's not that many people that can
No, not
afford it.
anymore anyway. You know, I mean, COVID's basically shut down the tourism industry, the long distance tourism industry anyway.
Yeah,
So, you know, you don't really have to worry about
so if
that.
they had their own vaccine, they would just use it within Africa. I mean, it's not different from what China did, for example, or what Russia did. China
Yeah,
has its own vaccine.
yeah.
It uses it only within China, and it's not approved by EMA. If Chinese people want to come here, they get tested, and it's fine.
Yeah, yeah, they get tested, you know, and preferably spend that testing money in Europe, you know, so they arrive and then they get tested. That would be really nice.
I mean,
Yeah.
what if they get tested
As a
before they
Dutch
depart
person, you know,
and
my heart starts
when
beating
they arrive?
faster when
They should be both, you know.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
So
yeah, exactly. You know,
the first
as a
one,
Dutch person,
just to make
my
sure.
heart starts beating faster when I hear the word profit. So
Yeah, exactly. So I I mean, it's even better if FEMA doesn't
Yeah.
approve
We
their
can make money
vaccine.
off this, guys. We can
Yeah.
make money off this, you know.
So, I mean, we
Oh,
we solved COVID. This is how we solved COVID
yeah.
solved people. Now we just make money. So speaking about
Yeah. Now we're. Yeah.
no, speaking about you earlier said that people don't go on long distance vacations, which is true. Which is why
Mhm.
later I need people from
Yeah.
from here to help me decide where the fuck am I going to go on holidays on in October. So it's not easy. Uh, it was Tenerife at some point.
I think I've got a few ideas.
I mean, it was
Yeah.
Tenerife at some point. Then
Yeah.
yeah, in October, when it comes to the days where we have the flights are available and the time it takes to go there and get back, and the number of days are limited. Like we would stay like 5 days.
Mhm.
It shouldn't be too much because stuff. And
Yeah.
if you lose one day to go, one day to get back, it's not much of a. It's a bit yeah. Same thing with Malta. We,
Yeah.
we we looked into Malta later, but the issue was that the days which were available were not didn't work for us because we needed them later, and
Yeah.
it had just like 2 flights per week or something like that. It wasn't. So
Oh,
yeah,
that's not much. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, we're
I mean,
looking into stuff.
that's the thing. I mean, lots of airlines have kind of cut back on their tourist flights now. For example, my family had a really hard time booking trips to Basel, where I'm now.
Yeah, yeah, I would imagine that to be the
BA
case.
BA is not flying to Basel for the whole month of August and September.
And
So to go from the UK to Basel was, I mean, they had at least one flight a day, as far as I know, before COVID, and now it's zero.
then there's the issue. I mean, the
In the
issue
most
is,
tourist busy.
yeah, the thing is,
Yeah.
how do you even, you even have to consider, is that place still going to not get locked down by the time I have my flight? So, for example, a
Yeah, exactly.
possibility was Ibiza or Mallorca, those places there, those islands. But as we all know, those are
Hmm.
the first places that get any new variant of COVID in Europe, and
Yeah.
they are the first ones that get lockdowns because, as I was joking today with
Yeah,
a few
that's where
friends,
all the party people go, and
yeah, it's the
they
people that
party
go to
away tonight
yeah,
and get
exactly.
COVID to
The people that
everyone.
go to Ibiza, they're not the sort of people that look into like let's put on the mask. That's more like let's share needles to get high together. It's more that. So you can't
Yeah,
expect that place to not be the first one to get locked down. So you,
exactly. Don't go there, people. Don't go to Ibiza this year, or any subsequent year, by the way,
I mean,
Um,
go
I don't
there,
know. I
but
mean, you could go to Greece,
it's going to be
right? You
yeah. I
could
mean,
go.
Greece, it's a possibility.
Yeah.
Although she has been there last year, so it's a bit yeah.
Mm.
I don't want to go there again.
Ah, okay.
It's a
Yeah,
bit.
yeah, yeah.
So it's not like we hate Greece. We already been there. Like I mean, she has already been there
Yeah.
last year, so I don't want to go there again.
Yeah. Well,
Although it's not like
yeah. That's.
that there are quite a few. It's not like she saw everything in Greece or whatever. It's like there are
Mm.
places that would be nice. It's not like we would like to go there again in the future. It's just I think it's better to go somewhere
Yeah,
else
yeah. And
now.
you can of course watch the forest burn from a distance, which is
Yeah, I
very
mean
nice.
that's
And
obviously a nice bonus. But I mean, to be fair, it's not
yeah.
like we are going to miss anything. I'm sure next year it's going to be the same. So sorry,
Yeah,
Chris.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Next year the fires will be even more spectacular,
Yeah,
So you
exactly.
can
So
always go there next year again.
I mean,
You can make it an annual thing,
yeah,
to watch the running of the Greeks who were running
the
away from the fires.
the,
Or
the yearly Greek Fire festival. So I mean, that's not great for them
exactly,
either.
exactly.
So
I
yeah, it's
mean,
not easy to go on holiday, even if you want to.
no, 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 exactly. We've kind of been limited, and I think you saw that during the Tokyo Olympics as well. I mean, there were usually when it comes to the Olympics, many people want to travel there, want to
Ha-
be part of that, that spectacle.
have to
Not
say,
happening this year, people. You know.
a bit funny because Japan
Mm.
had to spend all of those money when it comes to the Olympics,
Yeah,
and usually countries don't even break even, or it's really difficult for them to break even considering all the people that
Yeah,
come with tourism and stuff, you know. So they didn't even get
yeah.
that, so it's just been like a waste of money, which is funny for me.
Oh gosh, and that not only that, but they've had to they organized it for 2020 and then it got cancelled, so
They had to do
they've
it
had to
again,
spend
yeah,
twice as much money. Yeah.
and they got nothing back. So
Oh,
good on
bring
you,
it back to Athens is what I say. It's much easier to have the Olympics in Athens. Then you don't have to spend all that money every time,
and
and the Greeks still
and
get a little bit of tourism.
and you can
Mm.
have competitions like the sprinting. It can be a bit more exciting because they have to wait for the flames,
Mm.
the fire to get there, and then they have
Yeah.
to run away from the flames.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it has to
Yeah, I
go
don't know.
back to
I
Greece, you
mean,
know.
I don't know any athlete who's like fireproof. So it will be they'll really have to run for it.
Yeah, I mean that's why it
Yeah.
makes it more
Yeah.
exciting, you know.
Yeah, more exciting. But I don't know. I mean, you could for a holiday destination, for example. I mean, if you're looking travel somewhere safe and somewhere where you can, still feel like you're on holiday, I think maybe Croatia might be a good idea.
Uh,
Which is not too far away from you.
yeah,
As
but the
as the
thing, yes,
as
it's
the bird flies.
the thing is, I don't know. It's sort of like might as well just go on my own. See, it's literally the same one. It's a
Yeah.
bit. I mean, have been there literally today. On
Oh, Croatia's nice.
yeah,
Yeah,
it
but
is
Croatia's
nice.
nice.
I know.
It's you can look at you can look across the border there and laugh at everyone who's not in the EU
Yeah, I
and
know. Yeah.
at the same time or you'd have to choose something more northerly.
Yeah, so
Oops.
there was a possible destination as in Ireland, just which, as you said, I
Oh,
could
okay.
go across the border and do the same thing of telling people, haha, you're not in the EU. So it can work that too.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah, exactly.
might go there. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea actually. I mean, Ireland is nice because you've got the Atlantic climate there, which makes it nice and cool. And after you've been baking in Italy for a while, you might want to have a little bit more clement weather.
Yeah, but
You know,
it's going to be October. I don't think it's going to be. It's probably going to just
ooh, yeah,
be
yeah,
always
10
raining.
degrees, coat weather.
Yeah, yeah,
Ah, but I mean, to be fair, I mean, if you're looking outside the EU, there's not many places at the moment that you can go that are one safe or safe enough for you to make sure that you don't catch any COVID or that you feel safe enough not to catch COVID and that holiday destinations actually serve.
yeah. I know. The thing is,
Maybe
within
Egypt,
Italy,
Tunisia, maybe.
yeah, I'm never
Yeah.
going there,
Yeah.
especially Egypt. I
And
do,
then
do I need to
yeah.
remember you that my passport is Italian? You know
Yeah,
what
yeah, yeah.
happens to Italians in Egypt? They
Uh,
don't come back.
yeah, it's not very good. Yeah, that's right. I mean, for those that don't know, there was an Italian over there who was jailed, I think, and died in jail. I think was that
Yes.
it?
Well,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. The best part is that one was an Italian. He has been killed, but obviously the Egyptian
Mm,
authority has helped a lot us, which means not.
mm,
But right now there is another
yeah.
one which is called Patrick Zaki. So he's a student. I mean, he's an Egyptian student.
Mm,
He were, I think, in Bologna, if I remember right. And
mm,
when he went back, I think it was on holidays or something. I don't remember. He went to
mm.
Egypt. They put him in jail. He has been there. I think it's almost 2 years now. And in all of this time,
Wow.
he still has not been accused of anything. I don't know
Yeah.
like the technical words now because there are legal words here, but he's in jail.
Mm,
But it's not like he
yeah.
has not been
And he's
accused
not
of.
been accused of a crime, as it were.
Yeah,
He's
no,
just
it's
he's just
just like
there
we are like
awaiting trial for something he doesn't know.
yeah, it's like we are keeping you here while in theory I know that it is done to some degree. I think in some
Mm,
places, even maybe in the US or around Europe, there it can be done like you stay in jail for 48 hours because we are pretty sure you did something, and
Yeah.
it's like the time it needs us to investigate and to make sure that you don't flee away or whatever. It's
Mm.
I think in some places, but it's usually like 48 hours or 24, whatever it is
Yeah,
limit.
exactly, and it can be extended, but only by a judge's permission, and
Yeah, but
only once or twice or something like that,
yeah,
right?
it's
Mm.
quite limited, and a, you need to say, yeah, we are investigating because you did this.
Mm.
Instead, there
Yeah.
he still doesn't have anything, and it's been years,
Oh.
and he's probably going
Yeah.
to stay there forever at this point. I mean, the Italian,
Yeah, exactly. My God.
Italy, I think we gave him
Mm.
citizenship, pretty sure.
Yeah.
Like after he has been jailed. So, I
Mm.
mean, that's an easy way to be able to, do more because it
Yeah.
goes from an Egyptian citizen in Egypt. You don't
Yeah.
really have
To
much
an Egyptian
influence
slash Italian, exactly. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
to
yeah. So
an
there's at least
Italian
this
citizen
international
in
pressure,
Egypt.
right?
So it's a
Yeah.
lot easier than to put some pressure. I mean, obviously,
Yeah.
even before we did put some pressure because it was still a student in Italy and stuff.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
now it's a bit different. And I think he's gay as well, which obviously in
Mhm.
Egypt that goes really well.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
um,
So so no, Egypt's out basically for you.
yeah, not going there. I
Yeah.
mean, it's not just Egypt, honestly. I don't think I'm ever going to go in any country where it's not,
Yeah.
at
Where there's
least,
not
it has
yeah,
to be a liberal
where you
democracy, to
can
be
be
honest.
arbitrarily arrested, and
I mean,
where
it's not even just
there's no
that. For
recourse.
example, I mean, it can happen in Dubai as well, to be honest, but
Yeah.
it's a bit harder there. But even then,
Mm.
I don't really want to go, for example, in Dubai and give money to people that literally have slaves there.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
doesn't really sit
exactly.
well with me. I would prefer, if I need to spend my money, I prefer
Mm.
giving them like to Irish people in Ireland, instead
Yeah.
of giving them to.
You hear that, Irish people listening?
So
Dante wants to spend my money in your country, so that's a good opportunity.
isn't this what the EU is all about? Is
Exactly.
this is the Irish Dutch sandwich of tax evasion,
Yeah,
right? This
yeah.
is how
The
it
Irish
works.
Dutch sandwich with Italian cheese in the middle, So
Yeah,
it's going well. But what other holiday destinations could you? I mean, you could do Germany,
yeah,
Poland.
yeah.
Very interesting.
Yeah, not I
Um,
mean, I've been to Germany quite a
uh,
few times, so it's a big. I mean, it's not like I
mm,
don't want to go there again in the future at some point, but I would
yeah,
like to
but
go.
it's not really an exotic holiday destination for you and your girlfriend, is it?
Yeah, I've been there more
Um,
than once. I mean, I literally
yeah.
been in Munich for a few months, so
Oh, okay, okay. So you've experienced the German life, the bratwurst life. So
But
that's okay.
to be fair,
Oh, you could always Austria is a good idea.
have been
Um,
to Vienna. So what else
yeah,
is there to
yeah,
Austria? I mean, once you did
yeah,
Vienna, there's not
yeah.
much more. So
Yeah, I mean that's it. I mean when it comes to the holiday destinations, you either within Europe, which you've already seen, which we've already all seen, really,
I mean, the thing is
or
not really. The
uh,
thing is now I'm being a bit like there are some European countries where I've not been yet, and even then, like
mhm,
literally, even within Italy, there are so many places that I couldn't look. And I'm pretty sure
mm,
that it's the same in Germany or whatever. It's not like
yeah,
just because you have seen those like one big city, even like within Munich. Yeah, because I've been there months, but there are a lot of
mm,
things to see in Munich
yeah,
just by
yeah,
itself.
exactly.
So it's not like it's. I mean, we are talking about Europe. If you want to look at stuff, there's a lot to
Mm,
look at. You don't really need to
yeah.
go anywhere else, to be honest.
I think that's it. I mean, because of COVID, we've really started to look closer to home, to see what there is, or what kind of what I've often noticed is that because we're Europeans, we consider countries near to us to be not as exotic as as far away destinations. But because of COVID, we're really starting to reevaluate that. For
I don't know
example,
though. Yes, and not to some
when
degree.
it comes to holidays inside your own country, it's become much more popular than it was pre-COVID or even at the start of COVID. People
Yes,
were still looking for that for that travel to exotic destinations, which all of a sudden was impossible. And now, people are like, yeah, okay, but what can I do then closer to home? And you mentioned Munich, for example, or Ireland, or I mean, it's hard. It's for you, it's hard because you're from Italy, and Italy is already such a nice country.
yeah, I mean, it's what I was going to say that yes, it has been like tourism within the country. It has gone a bit up this
Yeah,
last few years because obviously, but Italy has always had quite high numbers. Like, I
yeah,
mean, it's really like there are a lot of places you can go in Italy in holiday. I mean,
yeah,
for example, everyone living in the north, like in Lombardy, like people from Milan, whatever, they all go en masse toward the south, like either on Rimini, Riccione, that part there on the
yeah,
Adriatic Sea, or they go all the way south, like in Puglia, Sicily, whatever. So
yeah,
just that it's a lot of people going always in Italy because the thing is they have been working and they've never seen the sea all year long.
mm,
So yeah,
yeah.
let's go there.
Exactly. I mean, life is good in Italy, and
Yeah,
all across Europe, by the way. I mean, if you're in Greece,
yeah,
living in Athens, you might want to visit one of the smaller islands,
yeah,
or
exactly.
you might, or if you're living in Bulgaria, you might want to visit, the Black Sea, or
Yeah.
Romania, you might want to do. There's
If you,
plenty to do in your own
yeah,
country now,
if you
and
live
I
in the
think that's
Netherlands,
yeah,
for example,
yeah.
you can go look. I don't know, like Dusseldorf or
Yeah,
other
yeah,
German
exactly. It's
places.
just across the border. It's not
Yeah,
very far.
it's
Or
not like
Brussels,
it's
or
it's not like
you know.
there's anything in the Netherlands. You need to still
No,
go
no,
outside.
Netherlands is just one flat. I mean, Netherlands is basically a flat Minecraft world.
Yeah,
Super flat.
yeah, pretty much.
And so apart from well, I must say, things like sailing and those kind of things are very very good to do in the Netherlands, and places
Yeah,
like
but
Finland as well.
yeah,
Places
but
with a lot of lakes.
so
That you can do a lot of stuff there.
I
So
understand.
that kind of
I
is
understand
really
what you're
really
saying
popular.
there,
Yeah,
but on the other hand, if you sail here, you sail and you go to Croatia. You know, a bit
yeah,
different,
yeah. I don't know. I mean,
a bit
because
different.
the Netherlands is so small and there's so many small little villages, you could really have a good time. Going from one port to the other. You sail for half a day, you drink for half a day. That's the
Ah,
idea.
okay, that's fair enough. I mean, there are you
Yeah.
can do that
I mean, you
here
can
as
do that
well.
in Italy as well, but you'd have to go all the way around. And
I mean, you can hop
that's
around the
yeah,
coast and there are
yeah.
islands and stuff, so you can have
But
fun.
I used to go sailing holidays with my father, and what we do is we just hire a boat and then just hop from pub to pub, and that's a great holiday to have, especially I mean if uh, it's I wouldn't call it something romantic that I do with my wife, right? But it's great fun when it's just you and the lads, you know what I mean? So there are, it kind of depends on what you want,
Yeah.
I guess.
Speaking
You know.
about, on
Mhm.
Tuesday I'm going to Florence, so I'm going to do
Oh,
something.
nice, nice, Florence. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm going to do.
very cool.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's not like I'm
So,
doing nothing, doing something.
yeah,
Come on.
yeah. I mean, you've got holiday right now, so
Yeah, and the thing is,
that's
for
nice. Yeah,
example, a few days
yeah,
ago, I've been in Umbria, which is a region nearby. It's like literally in center Italy. Around
yeah.
there's only mountains there,
Mm,
which though is nice. But I went on a small village that I like small town. I didn't even know the existence of that
mm,
place, and that has like some waterfalls, and you go like
yeah,
on a trekking, and you see it's like smaller waterfalls, and you go up
yeah.
until you get like to the highest point, and there's a bigger
Oh,
waterfall.
that's nice.
And
Yeah.
for example, I didn't even know about that place, and it's like quite near me. And
Mm.
Europe is full of places like that, for like
Yeah,
smaller
exactly.
places and
Little
stuff.
little places, unknown places where the beauty of the landscape just springs out at you. I
Yes.
mean, I have that now as well when I'm traveling through Switzerland. There's many little communities, where there's a little party going on, or there's a little festival going on, which you've never heard of before, and you just kind of feel drawn to it, and you can really kind of
Yes, especially
experience a
now.
part of Europe that you don't know about, and I think that's really important.
So I don't know
Um,
how much relevant it is in other European countries, but I think I did mention it once. But in Italy, when it comes, especially in August,
mm,
literally every day, pretty much, there's a
yeah,
festival or something in at least one town.
yeah,
Maybe it's going to be the town next to yours, like 5 minutes from yours, maybe 10, 15, whatever. But every
yeah,
town in here,
yeah. It
it
has
has
some
some
date
fest.
that there's something going on,
Yeah, each one it has its own, but since there's so many towns, each you end up having every day there's some town having something. So even just doing that, especially I would imagine for someone. I mean, I'm used to it. I still like it a lot, to be honest. It's like it's one of the best
Yeah.
parts of summers here. But I would imagine, for example, if someone comes from like let's say a Dutch person comes here like, and goes like
Let's say, yeah, yeah.
So no, I'm saying this because I literally know someone who runs like a villa, let's say like a holiday
Mm,
house for people like
yeah.
mostly it's Dutch and German people going there. So for
Mm,
example, they go there. You during the day you go see places like the one I said earlier, like the waterfall. Or
yeah.
you go on the beach. You go there. You go. There are a lot of places to check during the day, and then at night. They go on all those festivals. I would imagine it would
Mm,
be a blast, for example, for uh, someone from the Netherlands who has never seen
mm,
something like that, and and that's just something that it's not as obvious as a holiday.
mm,
You know, it's not. Um, when you think about Italy, it's more like yeah, let's go see Rome, Florence,
yeah.
Venice, whatever. Which I mean, it's Rome. I understand it. I've been there. It's quite.
Mm.
It's
It's
quite beautiful.
spectacular, but
Yeah, it's
it's
Rome.
not it's not
It's not like I'm saying you
it's not a
don't go
place that you
there.
can that in Corona time you'd also you want something a little bit more intimate maybe, and you want to do something with family, and you know I think the major tourist destinations have really lost out to the smaller kind of like what you say, the smaller festivals, the smaller towns. They're really coming into their own now again, which is really nice. But
I mean,
things like international tourism and stuff, that's basically stopped at the moment, isn't it?
yeah. The thing is,
I
it
mean,
has always when it comes to like this festival and stuff. They have always worked as in. I mean, you have mostly people from here, obviously, but I do think this kind of stuff could become uh, especially right now since we are thinking again about what means going on holiday in Europe. I
yeah,
think this kind of stuff might become the next step, which you
mm,
maybe the thing is it's not easy. You would need probably
yeah,
like the tourism sector and the minister for tourism and stuff to do a lot of PR work. It's not like something easy. But for example, going to the Netherlands might be going to Amsterdam to check it out because I
mm,
mean it's not all too bad. Could be worse.
mm.
So it can be that, but something else can be you go to the Netherlands to have
Yeah, yeah. You can go to a little town
a
in
week long
Brabant, or
like
yeah,
tour of there's
yeah,
like these 5 towns. You go down the river on a boat
mm,
and you do that. For
yeah,
example,
exactly.
same thing. I would imagine, and every place around Europe. I would imagine, for example, in Poland, there's going to be a lot of places that are nice like that. I
Yeah,
don't know,
exactly.
or in
Castle tours,
Romania,
for example, are very
whatever.
popular. Poland has so many castles. Which
Yeah,
and so does Germany. And France. These and to some extent also the Netherlands. Belgium, not so many castles. The Germans and the French went through there so many times, no castles were left.
I mean,
So,
it can
but
happen, you know.
there's so many little kind of it's a matter of scale as well. I mean, I know, for example, that towns like Venice, Rome, Paris, and Amsterdam, and to an extent other capitals around Europe as well. have had really big problems with the amount of tourists which have come to their towns, to their cities.
I mean,
You know,
especially
lots
Venice.
and lots of, at what point is your city a tourist trap?
Venice.
At what point is yeah, Venice is the big example, of course. I
It's
mean,
already there.
what would happen pre-COVID is, you'd get those big, the big cruise liners going to Venice,
Which are banned
docking.
now. We
Yeah, which
they
are
have
banned now.
they have been banned
Wonderful.
from Venice now. The big
Yeah,
cruisers they can't dock within the like. They can dock
yeah,
in another port, which is not that far off, to be honest. I
mm,
don't know why they
yeah,
didn't do that from the start, but because I mean I do know the reason is because tourists want to dock
yeah.
in the like let's say in the center and then go
Yeah, exactly. They
on
want
a
to get
walk.
out and have their, and have the locals dance and sing for them straight away.
Yeah,
But
instead now
you
they
can't.
have to
Yeah,
get on like hop off like you went go out of your cruise and then you get on
mm,
on a smaller boat which sends you there. It's not going to be
yeah,
too much. Come on.
exactly. And you can also see it in the amount of Chinese tourists and tourists from America who, it's a lot less now.
Which you
It's
know what I was thinking now that you're saying that I was thinking
yeah,
when it comes to Chinese tourists or American tourists and stuff, since it's not like they go in Europe that often,
mm,
usually it might be like the only time they go to Europe, or even if they go 4 times in Europe in their life or 10, whatever.
yeah,
There's like you can do 10 capitals in Europe. Or there are like
yeah,
it's not like you can. It's not as easy for them to exhaust, let's say, the capitals or whatever. So
mm,
it's easier for them to just go to the capitals or those tourist attraction, like for
yeah,
example, as you said, Venice being a tourist trap.
mm,
Meanwhile, for Europeans, especially for example, if you are a German person going to the
mm,
Netherlands to have that week on a dike and then going
mm,
down a river, whatever, it's going to
yeah,
be a lot more appealing, and it's something that it's more interesting for the German compared
mm,
to an American. The thing is, if an American or a Chinese person goes back home, it can't say,
yeah.
"Yeah, I went to the small town which you can't even find on the map." You know,
Yeah, yeah,
it,
yeah.
it needs
I
to go.
sat with the locals,
Yeah,
there,
it
there
doesn't
there
work.
was one playground, and that was it.
Yeah, imagine if
Uh,
you are like, for example, like
yeah,
a 56-year-old couple that they have
mm,
never been to Europe. They need to go to France, have
yeah. They
uh,
need to see the Eiffel Tower.
they need to have
Yeah,
the picture in front of Eiffel Tower. So when they
yeah,
go home, people can see that like on Instagram and
mm,
stuff. Yeah, we've
yeah,
been there. I mean, it's not. It's almost like a game where you need to go there to have your picture in front of whatever
yeah,
monument
yeah,
or
yeah.
whatever, so people
What
know
comes
that
to
you have
mind is
been
as
there.
well. Yeah, the Tower of Pisa comes to mind as well. Every year, I don't know if people have seen that, but every year people go to the town of Pisa, where you have the Leaning Tower of Pisa, and they do kind of really weird stances next to it.
Yeah,
So it looks like they're pushing it over, or they're supporting it, or
yeah,
and that's almost like a ritual.
yeah. The
But
thing is, I mean,
I
it's
think it might, I mean, yes, you do, as a let's say that you are a Chinese or an American tourist that wants to see Europe. I think it's much more the way at the moment that the combination of both. Yes, you do see Paris, or yes, you do see Venice, but you don't spend your exclusively your time shepherding between capitals anymore, because it's just too hard, with the COVID
yeah, that's for
crisis
sure.
going on.
But the thing is, if
So the chances of you staying in the country and, for example, going to Venice and then going to Florence,
yeah,
and
but
then going to
it depends
Rome, and then
what you
you
do.
kind
But
of,
if you go to
yeah,
Rome, you can spend a week in Rome and not see everything. So
yeah, true,
it's not like usually, especially in big places like if you go to Paris, if you want to see
mm,
everything, it's not like you can
mm.
do everything in 2 3 days. Just going to the
No, no,
Louvre
no,
might take away just an afternoon or even
yeah,
a whole day, depending on how
yeah.
much you like that. Or
But you
going
could, for example, have like 4 days, 5 days in Paris, and then move to Lyon or Nice, for some nice Mediterranean cuisine, or pop across the border
It depends, though. The thing
to
is,
Spain. That,
if you
that
are
that kind of thing is possible.
that it's really expensive though. If
Mm,
you are from the US, whatever, if you might even now, if I went to Paris, I get on a
mm,
plane, I arrive to Paris, and
mm,
I'm there. I can see everything around Paris. If I want to go to Nice,
mm.
it's almost like it's almost like you're doing two holidays because you
Yeah,
still
that's
need to
true.
pay to go to Nice, which is going to be
Yeah.
another expense.
Mm.
And it's not like it's that cheap. It's
No,
relatively
no, no.
cheap,
I mean,
yes,
there would
but
have to be a concerted effort, kind of, to push people
yeah.
towards it.
Meanwhile,
To make it worth their while, as it were.
meanwhile,
Mm.
Dutch people really like to come here and get a house, like some kind of like a
Yeah,
villa,
of course,
whatever,
man.
and they
Yeah.
get just go around looking for stuff. I mean, there are some. It's not like they don't know that. Like usually when you do go to those places, they give you ideas. Like you can
Mm.
go here and have a trekking here, or you can go there. You can spend a day here, so you have options they give you.
Yeah.
So it's not like you need to be an expert or whatever. You just
Mm.
find an house, a villa, whatever in Italy. You
Yeah.
go there, they tell you, so you can do this, that, there, and you spend a week that way. And you're not in the Netherlands, just that makes you
Yeah.
happy.
Yeah, I mean, the Netherlands is really nice when it's sunny, which is about
Never.
10% of the day.
It is
You know?
never.
No, 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 no. We have sun, right? We're not Britain. Come on,
Yeah.
we have sun. It's just we have all the other types of weather at the same time.
It's
So
just it's just a bit shy. He can't stay out too long.
yeah, 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 exactly. You need your raincoat with you, and you need your sweater with you. Just in case the hail starts and the rain starts.
You know what? I just imagine the sun coming out like it's
Oh,
on top of the
38 degrees, did you
Netherlands.
say? Whew.
Yeah, and like it goes there. It says 10 minutes. I said, okay, I'm going home, and then goes to Italy. Goes,
See, people, this is the problem. Dante doesn't realize that the Netherlands is a beautiful country. It's just we have all the weather at the same time.
it, it's
You
it's
know?
it's really beautiful. It's just hard to see because there's no sun. So there's no
Yeah,
light.
yeah,
That's
yeah. I know.
it's like
Uh,
it's a lighting issue. You should prop up some lighting, like put some LEDs and stuff.
oh, I hate you so much right now. You have no idea.
I mean, to be
But
fair, I said earlier that I might go to Ireland, and it's not like they
yeah,
know
yeah.
what the sun is. I'm pretty sure they've never
No.
seen
Oh
it.
no, Ireland knows what the sun is. It's a newspaper.
Ah, yeah,
The
exactly.
newspaper that the British have.
It's the sun is what Irish people read to feel superior to the Brits. It's like
Yeah,
a
yeah,
daily
yeah.
reminder that yeah, we are better.
Yeah, exactly. That's just it. I mean, and again, I think you should really consider Ireland because you can just travel to the north, and then just laugh. No, no, no. That's a bit cruel towards the Northern Irish because they'll be part of Ireland soon anyway.
Yeah,
So it's that's the kind of thing. But I think when it comes to other holiday destinations. I mean, Europe is situated quite northerly, and if you really want to have beach holidays, it'll be Greece, it'll be Portugal, it'll be Spain, it'll be Italy, Croatia, or maybe one of the Black Sea countries. But
I mean,
that's about it, when it comes to Europe. Whereas, if you were to go to, for example, the Caribbean or something like that,
I really like the way you
mhm.
forgot France. I
Yeah.
really like that.
Sorry, is that a country? I didn't. You don't want to go there.
I like that no one thinks about France when it comes to going to the
No, no,
beach.
no.
No one does.
Well, I
Meanwhile,
tell you, I'll
Spain.
tell you one of my anecdotes though. I was one of the holidays that I had was we were going to travel. Me and my family were going to travel to south, and we would go to France, and then we would move on to Spain. And we arrived in France, and it was absolutely horrible. The holiday house was disgusting. The the place we went to, the food was horrible and stuff like that. We were like, oh, we're never going to do this again. But of course, that's anecdotal. I'm sure there's very nice places to go in France.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
hard to find them.
Yeah. So I'm a little bit prejudiced when it comes to holidays in France.
Nah, I've been to Paris and it was fine. So,
Yeah, Paris is nice, I must say. Yeah, my sister
well,
studied in Paris, and
well,
you know,
I mean,
this,
let's not get ahead of ourselves. It was fine.
mm,
Let's not
yeah,
go
yeah.
too much.
I mean,
And
where we were staying, you could barely smell the piss, which was okay.
to be honest,
Anyway,
it was
yeah,
fun. When I went to Paris, it was like I didn't it wasn't like a letdown. Like I know it can
mm,
be an issue, especially I think from
yeah,
it's more like I think from people from outside of Europe, like they
mm,
idealist like the romanticized version of
yeah,
Paris, France, and stuff. Then they go there and it's like they get sad and depressed because it's not what they think. But
yeah, exactly.
the thing is, I didn't have that with France in Paris. It was
Mm.
fine. Uh, when I went to London,
Yeah, but we're Europeans. We know what to expect, from each other.
yeah,
You know
exactly.
when you go to, when you go to Italy, everyone's stuck up and
Yeah, sure.
and so full of themselves. You want to hit them in the face.
You
When you
said
go to the Netherlands, the weather is shit. And when you go to France,
everyone is stuck up and
you
you
get
want to hit them in the face. Too.
yeah, exactly.
The thing is,
uh,
I went to London and
mm,
I was not expecting much from London. The issue
mm,
is that I had been to Munich just a month earlier,
yeah.
so it was really hard to not compare. And it's really not great, London, is it? It's not.
No,
I really had.
no, I don't know. It's overhyped, I think.
Oh no,
I
no.
mean,
The,
I
the
must
thing,
say,
the thing is, I went there with really, really low expectations of London, but it still managed to. I mean, it's not like I was like sad or depressed because oh no, London. I was expecting it to
Mm,
be great, but it wasn't. It was
yeah.
bad as I was
Mm,
expecting. But the
mm,
thing is, when it comes to a direct comparison to Munich,
mm.
it really gets really bad. This-
Yeah, yeah.
Especially, I mean, just something as stupid as people crossing the road. You are in. I do understand it's different,
Yeah.
but
Mm.
if just 1 month earlier we are in Munich and people don't cross the road at midnight with not even one car in sight, they still
Yeah,
wait
yeah.
for the light to get red, to go green if you're
Yeah,
if you're
yeah.
and then you are in London at 10 a.m. like full maximum traffic and stuff. People,
Mm.
it's like red, and everyone walking across the street like there's no
Yeah, yeah.
tomorrow. Yeah, it was just jarring to me going from
Yeah, yeah.
it was like going to a third world country
It's like
after you.
it's
Yeah,
like a culture shock, exactly, and you don't expect it really when you're there, because you think, oh well, this is supposed to be Europe.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
like yes, I know it's not Germany, it's not Munich, I know, but I didn't expect it to be that much. It's like, come
Yeah,
on,
yeah, yeah.
like the Brits are
I know.
supposed to queue
I
and
mean,
stuff.
I've lived there, so for me, I'm kind of biased in that. So I've lived there, so I think possibly it's even worse than you described.
Yeah, I know.
But
Which, by the way,
mm,
the first person. I mean, at the start, the first people, obviously, like on the bus and stuff. But other than that, I went to one of the first person I talked to was in a
yeah,
supermarket because I needed to buy something there, and there was
mm,
this lady. I'm not sure that knows English. I'm not saying that she was speaking another language, as in like let's say I don't know, a French person trying to speak English or whatever.
yeah,
I'm pretty sure she was born there, but
yeah,
she doesn't know English. She was
yeah,
speaking
yeah.
Chav. It's
I had the same thing every time I come back to Britain, by the way, because I like to get, as a Dutch person, I'm addicted to coffee. So what I do is I go and I get a coffee at the airport, and trying to navigate the language just to get a coffee is already, a spectacular failure. you know. But there's so many things going on in London. It's such an international city that usually you can find someone who speaks a variant of English you can understand,
Oh no,
right?
yeah. I mean,
But
I
as
did.
soon as you go outside of London, that becomes much more difficult, and your language center in your brain just gets overloaded.
Yeah, I mean,
Uh,
there
you
were
know,
plenty of people that I could understand. They were all Italians
yeah.
for some reason. I don't know. I didn't even go out of my way to look for them. In
Yeah.
one day in London, among the people I talked to, like, normally, like service people,
Yeah.
whatever, it was probably like a good 60%, even 70% of people were Italians. It's like, okay, I guess this has been colonized, I guess.
Yeah. I know, right? I mean, the thing is that they think, yeah, they're here to work, but no, we're here to colonize. We're here to slowly take over your country and make it European,
Yeah, I mean,
right? And before you know it, you'll be driving on the right side of the road.
you could
You'll
say
have good cuisine.
you could
Yeah.
say we just went back home. We made
Mm,
London, literally.
yeah, exactly.
So
That's
ours.
and the Polish as well. You can get really good Polish. You can get really good Polish contacts in London. Because they own the place.
Speaking about the
That's,
Polish, let's talk about
yeah,
their issues. Shall we? Shall
yeah.
we shall we speak
Yeah.
about
Let's
politics?
let's switch over to other European countries where things are going to shit. So this week, the Polish government collapsed. Um, and it looks like that collapse will also make it really easy for the EU to get its laws through, and get Poland to do what it wants finally. So, I'm very hopeful that Poland finally get rid of its problem with the judges. There's been a problem with the appointment of judges by the ruling party. Um, and next to that, when it comes to things like there's a law that Poland wants to instate, which is to stop foreign entities, non-European entities, from starting media companies or owning media companies there. That also looks like it's going to be off the rails.
I know.
So it's yeah.
Just saying.
Mm,
On one hand, not great optics.
no,
On the other hand, kind on Poland's side.
yeah.
Just like
I
no,
don't know. Yeah.
like I'm not like we should not do that.
Mm,
On the other hand, if it's not European, why does it even need to be here?
yeah. Why doesn't it even need to be there? I mean, this kind of
No,
harks back to the
well, I
Cold
mean I
War
know
because
why because you need
yeah,
someone to
yeah,
check on you from the outside. Obviously, I'm
yeah.
somewhat joking. On the other hand,
On the other hand, exactly.
who are we going to trust? Like
Yeah.
the Americans, the American media?
Mm,
No, the
no,
British
no,
media? That's not for sure.
no, hell no. The
Uh,
Australian media, I
yeah,
should say, because
no.
half of British media is owned by Rupert Murdoch, who's an Australian, of course.
So
Um,
maybe Canada?
so
No, I don't think Canada works
no,
either.
no.
We,
Let it be European.
I mean, maybe Egyptian media that
Yeah.
might take. So like I understand
Mm,
why it's bad to limit
yeah.
freedom of the press from outside of
Mm,
Europe. Like I understand that.
mm.
I'm just saying,
However, yeah.
who
I
are we
mean, it
even?
kind of has to do with Radio Free Europe. I mean, I don't know if many people are familiar with that, but it's a
It's
radio station which was started in the Cold War
which is not
by America.
European.
No, it's definitely not European. It's American propaganda for countries which are considered less free than the Americans would want. And they basically broadcast into Poland and into Hungary at the moment in their languages because of the problems with press freedom in those countries. I think Bulgaria and Romania as well. Definitely Bulgaria, because they've also got a big a freedom of speech problem. I think if you look up the um, the Press Freedom Index, which is an index that comes out every year. You can see that Bulgaria, is deep red when it comes to press freedom, and Hungary isn't doing much better either.
Yes.
So together with Poland, by the way, Polish state media is notorious for being very pro-government and in the government's pocket.
Yes,
Um,
but on the other
mm,
hand,
on the other hand, yes.
is really the US the best one to help?
No, not
I don't
really,
really think
not
so.
really. Yeah.
So, like, yeah, obviously, neither me or you are against allowing Radio Free Europe, I would imagine.
Yeah,
Although, to be
yeah.
honest, the thing is it government owned or is it private? And how
It is
much
government owned.
how much does it matter? Like, the thing is, it's easier
Mm,
because it's the US, which is mostly an ally. But what if it
yeah.
was, let's say, propaganda from Iran or Saudi Arabia doing,
Yeah, or Russia or yeah,
Russia? I mean,
exactly.
the thing I went from Saudi Arabia because it's even easier because let's say it's propaganda, which is like to make new people join. I'm not saying ISIS or whatever, but those kind
No,
of
no.
extremist
A
stuff.
Salafist organization,
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, yeah.
would do we even allow it? I don't think so. Like, I don't know.
Well, I mean, if it's commercial, then it's then and it doesn't infringe on the rights of individuals in the country. I think it is allowed. It's just hate speech, of course, is not allowed in most European countries. So it kind of depends on what they broadcast. But they could broadcast propaganda all they want, really. And I think like with everything that Poland has done in the past few years, I think there's a point to be made for what they do. However, how they go about it is very, very, suspect. Um,
Yeah.
for example, the reform of the way that judges are chosen in Poland is still a holdover from communism, and they want to get rid of that.
Yeah.
However, are you going to let the government choose your judges?
The,
Yeah,
th-
probably not the best idea.
but the thing is,
Um, mm,
it's not like they're stupid. Like, the government
no,
goes about stuff that it's like trying to fix the judicial system. It's not like
mm,
in itself it's bad. It's obviously
yeah,
something that needs to be done in Poland because they have some holdouts from the communism time, and I mean, there are stuff to be fixed. So
mm,
everyone in Poland, no matter the side, left, right, extreme left, extreme whatever,
yeah,
they all agree that needs to be fixed. They don't
mm,
agree on how, but they all agree that needs to be changed. The issue there, though, is not the idea of fixing the judicial system, or, for example, if you want to go about interference from outside powers, which
yeah,
I think it's a bit easier to forgive the US, especially because
mm,
right now it's just doing messages which are not against our values mostly. But
yeah,
imagine if it
yeah,
was China going blasting about how Taiwan isn't a real country, or
mm,
if it was Saudi Arabia telling you to jihad
yeah,
your way to the supermarket or
yeah, yeah,
whatever. It's
yeah,
I mean, obviously it would be a bit different as a discussion then, right?
mm,
So
yeah,
they
yeah,
take
definitely.
issues that in themselves are okay to take, like it's stuff that they should talk about, but it's not like they
Mm,
care that much. I think it's more like the government uses those issues as a way to gain
yeah.
more power, more
Yeah, yeah,
control over
exactly.
the
They use it as
country.
a wedge issue to make sure that they're part that that whatever they do, it's going to be for internal politics rather than external politics. Um, I think that's definitely the case. You see that happening in Hungary as well. I mean, with the LGBT things, it's always about how this will be for the internal politics
Yeah, but
rather than how it
it's a
will.
bit different though.
Yeah.
So
Mm,
I mean, if you said, for example, when it comes to LGBT issues, Orban is doing that mostly just to pander to its own some parts of its own voter base. Meanwhile, when
Yeah.
in Poland they're trying to fix the judicial system, everyone is on board.
Mm.
It's not just from Poland. Everyone around Europe, other European countries agree that
Yeah.
needs to be fixed and stuff. So it's not like
Yeah.
in Hungary they choose issues to divide and just to, you know, just to
Yeah.
uh, just to make something be on the forefront while they do whatever they want on the
Yeah.
backside. On the other hand, in Poland, they take issues which are important and they use
Mm.
them as a way in the fix they propose is the
Yeah.
one which makes the government gain more power in the
Mm.
in now and in the future, which is
Yeah.
the thing is it's a lot harder to deal with the way Poland
Mm.
does things, especially from the opposition side,
Yeah.
because if you're telling a voter which might not even follow politics too much, it's saying,
Mm.
yeah, they're trying to fix, get rid of communist judges. Why should I?
Yeah.
It's
People will
fine.
say that's good, you know?
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
exactly. You know?
Then if you go into details, it becomes yeah they do this by doing that, which means
Mm.
they get that
But that means
power.
that you actually want to get into the details, exactly, you know,
And
and
the
the
thing is,
average voter will go, yeah, well,
yeah, no,
you
you
know?
never. It's always difficult to go within the
Yeah.
details. I mean, just look for example at Brexit. Since we talked
Mm.
earlier a bit about the UK, no
Yeah.
one cared about the details either way.
Yeah.
Neither the Remain camp nor the Leave camp cared zero about details. It
Yeah.
was just about uh, we want to leave the EU
It was
because we feel.
slogan, yeah,
Yeah,
exactly, you
it was,
know,
and
get Brexit done.
on the other
Yeah.
side, you had Remain going about some details, but not really. And it was even
Yeah.
there. It was some slogans like, "Yeah, the EU is not going to unite. It's not like they want to do that. Just look at the
Yeah.
money and this small detail about this fish price that goes
Yeah.
down. Who cares? No one cares. If
Yeah, yeah,
people
yeah. No
vote,
one responded to that, you
I
know.
mean,
Yeah, exactly.
and it's not like it's not like even it's a fault for of people. Like let's say, me too.
Mm.
It's not like as much as I like we have a podcast about politics and stuff and we follow
Mm.
this kind of issues, it's not that easy to get even I, for example, especially for some issues, I'm not that much into details because if you
Yeah.
work 8 hours per day and then you need to do
Yeah, you
all
don't
the
have
other
time for
stuff,
that, you know, exactly.
you might
Yeah,
have
you
the time
listen to what's
just
on the
to.
news and that's it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
listen to what's on the news in the evening, and you might
Yeah.
get a bit more into details if there's a referendum, usually. But even
Yeah.
then, it's more like let's see one or two stuff on
Yeah.
TV where they discuss it a bit on one side and the other, and sure,
Yeah.
uh, let's vote that way. But it's really difficult to go within the minute details. It's a lot easier to just go with slogans because it's easier to explain to people.
Yeah.
And if you need to go within details to explain why your position is better, you
Yeah.
are always going to lose. To be honest, it's
Yeah,
really difficult.
there's a limit to. I think there's a limit to how far you can like not have the details, though. I mean, if you look at, for example, how Hungary dealt with the EU under the Juncker administration, you know, they really kind of said, you know, Soros bad, Juncker bad,
Hmm.
Verhofstadt bad, and they had posters all over the place, you know.
Yeah.
Um, that really kind of hurt them in some instance. That's why it's not really happening anymore.
Well,
You
I
know,
mean,
you don't see that.
it's not
You don't
happening anymore
see.
because they're not there anymore, though. It's not like
Yeah, yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
you can't say Juncker bad if he's not there.
Yeah, 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 exactly. You know, I mean, but for example, using Soros as a target is a lot less popular now than it used to be. You know.
Although I'm pretty sure they still do it. The
Yeah,
thing is, I mean, they found other new ways. They need to keep fresh. So now it's
yeah,
LGBT, and then it
yeah,
becomes,
yeah, yeah.
then it's going to become migrants again. Then it's a bit of a
And then
cycle,
they'll circle back to. Then they might circle back to Soros, is what
Yeah,
you're saying.
exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's like
yeah,
the Eurocast. One day we talk
yeah,
about climate change, then we talk about China, then we go
yeah,
back to climate change. We circle
yeah.
back,
And then
you
we
know.
go back to Brexit, and you know,
Yeah.
even though you don't want to, you know, it always pops up. You know, somewhere in the in our little discussion, there's always a little Brexit. So that's nice, you know.
Yeah, it's just to
It's
make
like
you
coming
happy.
home to a warm fire, you know, a fire just across the border. So
Shall we, since we are talking about fires, let's talk about the
Yeah.
fire within the Chinese soul, which has
Yeah.
two
Oh,
countries,
yes.
which is one is the
Beautiful.
actual China, and the other one
Yeah.
is the communist fake China. And
Yeah. Yeah. Communist make China bad and
yes,
actual China good. I think Lithuania actually recognized Taiwan this week, which is, or was it last week? Um,
which is
which
interesting.
which is really nice, and China's withdrawn their ambassador,
Which, yeah, who
and
cares?
you know, I mean, after the Olympics, it was already clear. I mean, I don't know if anyone saw this, but on Chinese media, the Chinese added the Taiwanese medals to their own to make it look like they beat America. I mean, the fire in their soul is definitely still burning.
Well, to be
You know?
fair,
Mm.
both Chinas, both the fake one and the real one,
Yeah,
subscribe to the idea that they are the real China. And by the way,
yeah,
I don't know if you know this, but the real China, which is the Republic of China, like Taiwan,
mm, yeah.
they didn't have when it came to this. Let me go back for a sec. So after World War II, uh, you had the Soviet Union and you had the Chinese Communist part there. So
Yeah.
Communist China had some deals with the Soviet Russia, and some parts of China are not within today's China.
Mm.
They let go of some parts,
Yeah.
but the other China, the real China, still has
Mm.
claims to those parts.
Oh, okay.
And
Yeah, yeah.
if that China becomes the new real China,
Mm.
in theory, there would be some issues regarding of those parts which
Oh, okay.
communist China let go, but not real
Yeah.
China. So it would be funny, you know. They would have
Ah,
to deal with Russia and stuff.
yeah.
I
So
mean,
this is one of the reasons that Russia is also against the acceptance of Taiwan slash real China.
well,
You know?
I would
Uh,
imagine it's mostly about the democratic part. It's easier to
mm,
have something like an
yeah.
autocratic China instead of a democratic. Because if it was a democratic China, it would still have the power of China, but it would now be
Mm,
democratic and care about human values and
yeah.
stuff.
Oh gosh. We can't
Which,
be having that.
yeah, you can't have that near your border. So if you need to have a big China, might as well have a big China that doesn't care about human rights. You know.
Yeah, 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 exactly. That you can bribe much easier than some people that have to
I mean,
take into account things like what my population wants.
yes, I mean you can
uh,
bribe them, but it's not just even that.
yeah,
It's simply the matter of a
mm,
democracy is going to be a pain in because
yeah,
it's going to tell you, yeah, you are doing that, which is against human rights. So now I'm doing
mm.
sanctions. Now I'm doing this. Now I'm doing that. Meanwhile,
Oh, that would be beautiful though,
a
seeing Russia
dictatorship.
sanctioned from two sides.
Yeah, you could
Yeah,
imagine.
a China a China EU sandwich, as it were. You know,
Yeah, it would
that would be
be a
really
bit too
nice.
much. So
Yeah,
you can see why they prefer a dictatorship, which
yeah.
they care just
I mean,
for
I mean,
themselves. But
it was very very nice to see during the Olympics though that real China slash Taiwan won from in badminton from fake China, and the Chinese were absolutely incensed. This was their, they were cheated of the victory, and in the end they decided to add the medals to their own anyway. So I had really a lot of fun this week watching the Chinese fire, you know. And to be honest, it's a refreshing change, because usually they don't even care. They don't even talk about Taiwan or Hong Kong. They just don't want to talk about it.
yeah, I mean
Um,
it's easier that way.
yeah, yeah, exactly. And usually the target is Japan, but because the Olympics were in Japan,
Yeah,
and Taiwan was winning, the amount of salt that was generated in China could, I mean, they don't have to salt their noodles for a long time, I think.
So I
Yeah.
was thinking. I mean, obviously, it's easier for Lithuania to
Hmm.
denounce China because
Yeah.
it's a smaller. I mean, the thing is, it's easier because it's. I'm not saying it's the only country in the world that can do it, but it's one of
Hmm.
the few, I think, because it's small enough where
Hmm.
it can afford to not. Even if China cuts ties with Lithuania,
Yeah.
who cares? Nothing happens to Lithuania
Yeah.
because it's small enough I would imagine if even if they have some kind of I would imagine they have some
Mm.
business ties, but for
Yeah.
Lithuania it would be really easy to one just move them on other European countries, and
Mm.
two, it's probably going to be not too many. But on the
Yeah.
other hand, it's small, so it can afford that, but it's not alone because
Mm.
it's within the EU. So
Yeah.
it's not like China can just say okay, then nothing like trade deals or
Yeah.
whatever. You are still
I
in
mean,
the
the
EU.
danger that China has, of course, is that the by reacting too strongly to what Lithuania is doing, it will seem, it will trigger other European countries to do the same. You know, I
Yeah,
mean, yes, Lithuania is small, but let's say that Lithuania and Belgium do it, and then after Belgium, maybe Latvia and Finland, and then suddenly there's a movement within the EU to recognize Taiwan as the real entity, the separate entity, as it were. I think that's what the Chinese are kind of trying to balance against.
yeah. I
So
mean,
on one
obviously.
side they're making a lot of noise, but on the other side they're trying not to make too much noise because they know that once there is a movement towards this kind of thing in the EU, and I think sentiment is really shifting on that. I mean, the EU is often
I mean,
likened to a very big tanker, which takes a long time to turn when it comes to
I mean, COVID
public
helped.
opinion.
COVID helped fuel
Yeah, COVID helps,
hate towards China. So
Yeah. Yeah,
uh,
and the Uyghur situation there, the concentration camps that they have are also something
yes.
that, Europe has a particular problem with,
Although yeah,
Um,
I was going to say like it's something that we care more than most people. But to be honest, I don't know if
yeah.
it's that much true because yes,
Mm.
like if we didn't have the COVID pandemic, which makes
Yeah.
most people hate China because of how they dealt with it and
Mm.
everything else,
Yeah.
I don't think the Uyghur problem would have been enough.
No, no, I
Never,
don't
it
think so
would have
either.
never
But
been. But
it's cumulative though, You
but
have
yeah,
and
I think
Taiwan and COVID and
you can use
yeah.
COVID as like as the baseline where you get
Mm.
every European on board pretty much,
Yeah.
and then
Hmm.
the let's say the leaders, for
Yeah.
example, the prime minister, whatever, they can go on about Uyghur issues, which
Exactly.
they are not going to be felt as much by common Europeans, but
Mm.
because maybe they don't even know about it, it's not like everyone can know.
Mm.
But the thing is, since they already have a negative disposition towards China, because
Mm. Yeah.
there are quite a few reasons to have that, I would say,
Mm.
people are going to be more receptive towards messages of,
Yeah.
China that did
Yeah.
that with COVID. Yeah, they're doing genocide. People are going to say,
Yeah, and
yeah,
I think yeah, it's true, and I
they're
think
going to pile
it's
on that.
it also now spans the political spectrum. I mean, the left in most countries are very much against the Uyghur genocides. They want action on that. The right is very much against how they handle COVID,
Yeah, you get
how
everyone.
they
So,
you get everyone on board. Exactly.
China unites everyone, unites the
Mm.
world by hating them. So
Yeah,
great,
exactly.
great work, China.
Against again, we can say that a country is sacrificing itself to unite the EU.
Yeah,
Which is really nice.
yeah,
It's like
as it should be.
kind of like a parable to Brexit, really. I mean, after Brexit, the EU united like never before. One, we have a common enemy, and two, it's the Brits.
Yeah, I mean,
Left and right, and now we have, of course, it going on with China. So,
obviously, the issue with
how far
China,
can we take it?
the thing is, and which goes a bit back to what we were saying earlier. Lithuania did it because it's within the EU. If it was
Yeah,
let's say like a small country in the Pacific, or let's
yeah,
say a small African country, whatever. Even if,
yeah,
let's say a bit more richer, like rich as Lithuania, which is not too, if you compare to the rest of the world, is far from poor.
yeah,
But if it was alone, China could easily exert, like have its own power, use it to make
yeah,
Lithuania either change its position or just shut up. Whatever,
yeah,
either
yeah,
way,
exactly.
the thing is, Lithuania is within the EU, so it's not like China can,
Mm.
because Lithuania did that, for example, stop trade within the whole European Union. It's
Yeah,
never going
exactly.
to happen just because Lithuania said that. China is never going to do that.
Yeah, and
Uh,
I think the EU has an advantage over America in that because we are so divided, we can have these different opinions,
yeah,
and
I
we
mean,
can, there's a lot more movement possible,
yeah,
because
I mean, obviously,
if a governor of a state in America were to, accept Taiwan, no one would care, right? But now that it's Lithuania, a small country suddenly has a lot more
yeah, I mean,
clout,
no one
as
really
it were.
cares much yet, but I mean, it could start something.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah,
yeah, I mean,
exactly.
it's as you said earlier, it has a lot to do with how China reacts to it as well. Because if China reacts really badly,
Mm,
then you get everyone on board quite quickly.
yeah,
As I said, if China tomorrow says, because Lithuania did that, we are stopping trade relations, trade with the European Union,
yeah,
then you get Germany, France, Spain, Italy, everyone is going to get on board. If you're not
yeah,
getting any trade, might as well
mm,
shit on China, you know?
yeah, yeah, exactly.
So they
And we're already
can't
seeing
go.
kind of that movement. I mean, we are investing in Vietnam at the moment. We're investing in other Southeast Asian countries. We're starting to invest in Africa as more of a manufacturing base. South America, anything but China at the moment. So China's already losing influence in that
Yes,
respect in some ways in Europe anyway.
yeah, but I don't
But
know. The thing
mhm.
is it Vietnam that much better? Yeah, I mean, it's better right now, sure.
Well, yeah, it's. I mean, thing about Vietnam is because it's smaller, you can pressure it better.
Yes,
Um,
okay.
yeah.
And
A
like,
good
and
example is, for example, how they deal with environmental issues in Vietnam. The European Union has really pushed onto them, the idea of, you have to adhere to our environmental concerns before, we'll sign this trade deal with you.
yes,
And Vietnam will jump through any hoop to do that, because one day they definitely they want the trade that China is getting, um,
like,
and two, they see that this is a way to subvert their own political system, their own oh, it can't be us. It's not my fault that we have to do these legislations. It's because of the EU. Haha. Let's just
yes,
implement that.
okay,
So, in that
but
way, Vietnam is a lot more kind of willing to accede to what we want them to do than, for example, China is.
yes,
Okay, they're still communist, however,
it's still a dictatorship though. The thing is,
Hmm?
it's still a dictatorship. Like,
Yeah,
if the idea is to invest, so you
yeah,
don't have to be bound by the Chinese dictatorship.
yeah,
Sure, Vietnam is smaller, so it's easier to pressure to
yeah,
some degree. On the other
yeah.
hand, just look at Belarus. Yeah, Belarus doing whatever it wants, so it's not like we can.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
The amount of
Um,
pressure you can do, nah, not much.
yeah, the
So
difference is the Vietnamese really hate the Chinese, so it's not.
yeah, no, I'm talking more about, let's say, in 10 years,
Yeah.
we have a lot of manufacturing
Mm.
there, and then they start their own genocide.
Yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
just
Then
do
it's really
nothing
hard to
again.
kind of decouple from that. That's true. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean,
So, I,
you have to choose the lesser evil though at that point.
yeah, but why not? Like, sure, I understand vampires and stuff, but
Yeah,
Romania, Bulgaria,
yeah.
there, it's not like we can't
True.
just use them as the new
Yeah, but they're
manufacturing.
rich, you know. They're rich compared to places like that. So manufacturing is more expensive. I mean,
Not really
you can
though.
see it in
The thing is not.
yeah.
So let's say Romania, not that rich, and
Mm.
if we are talking
Yeah.
about manufacturing of, I mean, especially with the stuff
I
which
mean,
is most important, which is like in electronics, which you use
yeah.
everywhere.
Yeah, high-tech manufacturing is different, you know. I mean, for that, yes, Taiwan, yes, Romania, yes, Bulgaria, you know, because
Yeah,
one, they're outside the Eurozone.
yes,
Romania and Bulgaria are still within the EU, though, so they have our rules.
exactly.
You know, for a good example is the battery factories, which are now popping up in Eastern Europe. You know,
Yeah,
in places like
exactly.
Bulgaria, Romania,
So I would say
Croatia.
you do
Yeah.
that, and
Mm,
then if you want to do lower, like say, like more generic kind of
yeah.
manufacturing,
Yeah.
I would prefer Africa because it's closer. Just saying.
Yeah.
I mean, even
Yeah.
just,
Africa, maybe. Yeah.
I mean, just on just
Not
the,
Egypt though.
yeah, no, just the transportation, like just
Yeah.
getting stuff on one side to the
Mm,
Mediterranean to the other, a lot easier than,
yeah.
you know, from.
I mean, like every episode of
It's
this
complicated.
podcast, it's fucking complicated.
I mean, to be honest,
Yeah.
obviously, I mean, on one hand, money isn't infinite. It's more
Mm,
efficient if you go all out in one place, obviously.
yeah.
On the other hand, if you go all out on one place, if that place gets fucked, you are fucked.
Yeah.
If you invest in, let's say, 4 countries, if one gets fucked, you still have three working. Let's
Exactly,
say so.
exactly. Diversification, which is something we're trying to do with our energy as well. You know, getting our oil from Turkey, Russia, Canada, the US. You know, from all over the place, really. You know, instead of just from Saudi Arabia or Norway. Um, you know, which basically are the same kind of countries. You know, Norwegians and Saudi Arabians. You know, it's yeah, you don't want to deal with them.
Is there any difference?
Nah, I mean, yeah, you
They have
know,
more fish.
Saudi Arabia has better coffee. Yeah,
It has less fish. I don't know if is it better. I mean, it probably is better because what coffee can. It's not like that's
yeah.
coffee,
You know,
Norway,
Arabs
but
know about coffee, man. You have to say, you
I mean,
know.
they make relatively good coffee beans, which you
Yeah,
still mix with others, but sure.
yeah.
But then I don't know. It's like if you drink an Arab style coffee, meh,
Yeah.
it's not great.
I love how, you know, in the last minutes of the podcast we can still shit on one of our European friends. I love it, you know. Anyway,
Yeah,
I think it's almost midnight.
yeah. So let's
Yeah,
see. We
we haven't discussed the German elections in depth. We
at
haven't
all.
discussed no, we did at the start a little bit,
Yeah, a bit
um,
fair. So
but we haven't discussed corruption in the EU. So I think maybe we should leave that for next time
we can do
because that's
that
going to be
in 1 minute. So in the EU, there's corruption, and nothing is going to
yeah,
be done about that. There,
yeah.
done. Topic solved.
No,
So
man, we got EPO, you know.
yeah,
And
we'll see.
this is why maybe next week, you know, maybe next week we should have a nice little talk about EPO, since you
Yeah,
know
but
there's
you know how
nothing's going to happen except you know the Europe's going to be on fire a little bit more
you know
and
how it
China's going to be
works
bad.
when we say next week. Come on.
Yeah, yeah.
I think maybe once we remembered. Every
Yeah,
other
that's
time
true.
we forget and we just do the list of topics five
Yeah,
minutes
we just
before
do the list of topics.
the start
Okay,
and
guys, I've been told off by Dante now. You know,
so
it's.
we are not
All right, man.
we are not promising anything.
No, no.
Actually, we are promising that we are going to forget everything.
Yeah, yeah. Except to upload this to YouTube and that you can always watch it back a few episodes on Twitch, of course.
Yes, as always.
With Dante's immaculate graphics.
Yeah,
As an
which
Italian,
are great
yeah, as an
and
Italian, it's you know, it has to be mwah, you know, it has to be good.
yeah,
So.
it's not there yet. So for example, for some reason I'm just seeing
Mm.
now, why is it Yeah, fuck it. It's not. Why is it not? No, that's not the one. Where the fuck
What?
is the lower? That's not. Where is the lower third? Why is it not showing? Well, for whatever. For some reason, it's not
We'll
there.
figure it out, people.
Yeah.
Anyway, thanks
So,
thanks ever so much for listening
just to
this week.
make just to make your
Yeah,
point about everything being perfect there.
yeah. That's, a third. Just like Italy, where a third of the country doesn't work. It's it's a third of the screen of the podcast might not show up, but we'll see.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know. Anyway, everyone can listen back on Twitch. Visit us on the forum, Gotterfunken, the Discord, and we'll have a chat afterwards, of course.
Yeah, as always. And
As always.
as always, next week we are going to be here,
Yeah.
same time,
Same time,
same
same
channel,
place.
same places,
Exactly.
and we are going to be on YouTube just a few, just in an hour probably.
Yeah,
We are going to find the VOD on YouTube. So
Yeah.
next time then.
All right then.
Bye bye.
Well, have a good night, everyone, and see you in next week's
Yeah.
episode.
And don't die. Bye bye.
Yeah, don't die. All right. Bye bye.